What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. IFLTV.com put out a video yesterday, which was an interesting one. Tyson Fury, the WBC heavyweight champion. There's only one Tyson Fury. Had a quick interaction with CEO of Matchroom Boxing and Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, a.k.a. Eddie the Con Artist. Just a quick exchange. Tyson Fury called him a mush and congratulated Eddie Hearn on getting it done. Now, the UK boxing fans took that and ran with it. They pulled up Usain Bolt. They ran with that, basically saying that Tyson Fury congratulated Eddie Hearn on finally getting Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury over the line, and the fight is now done, and both fighters will announce the fight right after Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. Both fighters will be in the ring, and they will announce it to the world. It's basically what the UK fans took from that quick exchange from Eddie Hearn and Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Boy, Eddie Hearn in his second life, he need to be a cult leader. Well, he gets these people to believe everything he says. They follow him religiously. Believe everything he says. The man been saying for 6 weeks that the fight is close. Oh, it's close, it's close, it's close. Give me the weekend, a couple of days, and I'm going to have the fight for everybody. I'm going to have everybody have a smile on their face. Just give me a couple of days. I just like a homeboy that, you know, that owe you money, and you catch him at the park playing basketball, you run across, hey, man, where my $50 at? Man, give me a couple of days, man. Give me a couple of days, man. Give me a couple of days, man. I have your money for you, man. Give me a couple of days. And that's basically what Eddie Hearn is telling these UK boxing fans. Give me a couple of days. He's been saying that for 6 weeks. Eddie Hearn is all cap. Eddie Hearn stopped capping. This fight's not close. You put out that $150 million site fee. Bogus site fee at that. You leaked that to ESPN Knockout. And everybody took that and ran with it. And you had the audacity, the unmitigated gall, in my Stephen A. Smith voice, to say that AJ was going to get $75 million and Tyson Fury was going to get $75 million. And you flying all across the world in your private jet trying to get the fight done, you ain't getting none of that site fee money. Just like you ain't getting none of that site fee money for Anthony Joshua versus Anthony Ruiz, which was $60 million site fee. You ain't getting none of that. That went $35 million to AJ. I think that's what they were saying. And $15 million was going to Andy Ruiz Jr. Oh, man, this is absolutely ridiculous. How these people falling for the banana in the tailpipe. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can't make this stuff up, people. Look here, man. The only way I see this fight getting done is if both fighters are willing to take significantly less money than they would get if they push this fight back to later on in this year. Now, that $60 million site fee that was for the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 fight. Now, if Eddie Hearn gets $60 million right now during this pandemic, which he probably could get that, maybe the Saudi investors could come up with $60 million. If he can get that deal done, and just for the sake of saying, just like with the $150 million deal, AJ get $30 million and Tyson Fury get $30 million, if he can get that done, that'll be more believable than a $150 million site fee deal in a pandemic. That'll be more believable, $60 million, what you got in the AJ Ruiz 2 fight. That'll be more believable than a $150 million site fee in this pandemic times. Can't see it happening, everybody. Can't see it. I believe the article was bogus. I believe the article was leaked to ESPN Knockout by Eddie Hearn, because he was getting a lot of backlash, and people was wondering, like, man, when this fight gonna get done, man? You've been talking for weeks now that this fight's gonna get done. It's not getting done. Weekend by weekend go by, and this fight is not getting done. What's the problem, Eddie? So Eddie had to put some water on that fire, and basically leaked that article to ESPN Knockout, and everybody was satisfied, everybody was pacified, and the critics quiet down, and they were saying, oh, Eddie, man, he got a $150 million site fee. So everything is gravy. Everything is copacetic. The fight is on track to get announced very soon. Eddie Hearn knows how to play the media game, everybody. He knows how to get his propaganda message out to everybody. When he sees the momentum going the other way, he's going to leak some stuff to his particular favorite boxing writer or his particular favorite YouTube video. And he's going to get his word out. And he's going to basically swing the momentum back in his favor. And get his followers, get his people that believe everything that comes out of his mouth back in line, back in step, and back into believing what he's putting out there for the world to see. Eddie Hearn, stop capping, man. You might can fool some of the people some of the time. You might can fool all of the people some of the time. But you can't fool JBsports none of the time. You understand me? So the fight's not close and the fight's not done, ladies and gentlemen. Quit falling for the okie doke. Eddie Hearn says some of the things during the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder failed negotiations. He said that fight was 75% done. He said that fight was going to happen in a stadium right outside of London. He said that fight was going to happen between AJ and Deontay Wilder. And all along, he was setting up a fight between AJ and Alexander Povetkin to take place in September. He kept going back and forth with Shelly Finkel, who advises and who manages Deontay Wilder. He kept going back and forth with them with the paperwork, with the contract and the drafts of the contract, but he never had a date or a venue on any one of those contracts that he was sending to Shelly Finkel. Because he didn't want that fight to get done. He's playing similar games right now, ladies and gentlemen. He keeps putting out for several weeks that the fight is close, and it's just little minor details that got to get sorted out, but basically both camps have agreed to the terms and the venue and the location of the fights. But why is it taking so much time, everybody? 6 weeks to be exact. That's 6 weekends that passed by that Eddie Hearn said the fight was going to get announced on that weekend, and that weekend went by without the fight getting announced. And you guys are still sitting here believing AJ and Fury is going to happen on July the 24th, July 31st, or August 7th. Those are proposed dates that Eddie Hearn said the fight will take place on. He's been saying that for the last couple of weeks. But the fight's not going to get done during those times, during those dates, with that site fee, $150 million. If it's $150 million, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to happen in July. It's not going to happen in August. I can see it happening in November or December when the pandemic is more under control. I can see the Saudi investors coming up with $150 million site fee when they know they're going to be able to have 100% crowd capacity. I can see that then. But you think they're going to give up $150 million and put that type of money on the table when they're not allowing fans in attendance at sporting events in the Middle East? The pandemic is still raging in the Middle East. The pandemic is still raging in Saudi Arabia. Bob Arum has told you guys that the fight's not going to happen in July or August, and he's not even sure the fight's going to happen at the end of 2021. He's very skeptical that the fight's going to happen at all this year. And you sitting here still believing Eddie Hearn that the fight's going to happen in late July, early August. Now, Frank Warren, a.k.a. Fish Eyes, was on board with what Bob Arum was saying. But he's kind of, in the last interviews, he's kind of tamed down those comments and basically given Eddie Hearn an olive branch, saying, look, let's see what happens. Let's see what these Saudi investors can come up with. I think he wants the fight to happen between Tyson Fury and Deontay and Anthony Joshua. I think that's the preferred opponent for him and Tyson Fury. I think Bob Arum is more skeptical. I think he believes that Eddie Hearn is playing games and he's ready to move on to Deontay Wilder third fight. So I think there's a little tug of war going on inside the Tyson Fury camp, and we will see how that plays out. But Eddie Hearn is capping. He's saying the fight's gonna happen, but he's capping. It's basically what's happening right now. And these UK fanboys, UK followers, is following your UK co-leader Eddie Hearn, believing everything that comes out of his mouth. And what you should be skeptical on everything that comes out of his mouth in actuality, but you believe in everything that comes out of his mouth, and you believe the fight is going to happen, and you believe the fight is going to be for $150 million site fee, and you believe that the fight is going to happen in late July, early August. But I'm here to tell you that that's not going to be the case. Not going to happen. Only way that fight happens in late July and late August is both fighters accept a dramatic decrease in what they could make if the fight's pushed back to later on this year. If they're willing to do that, then maybe the fight can happen. Maybe they can come up with around $60 million is what they got in the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz rematch. They can come up with $60 million and both fighters get $30 million a piece. And then both fighters are happy with that site fee. I think the fight can get done. But the problem is I don't think the promoters are willing to take short money when they can make big money later on this year. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But you got to understand, it's about the bag, y'all. It's about getting that bag. It's about maximizing what's going to be in that bag. And they're not going to take less than what they can get later on this year. So I think that's the best case scenario. $60 million site fee, what you got in the Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz second fight. That's the best case scenario. But I'm not even sure that's even on the table. Like I say, man, this pandemic is really a bad thing that happened across this world. A lot of people have died. A lot of people lost their loved ones. A lot of people have lost their lives. And it's just a bad situation all the way around. You know, it started in 2020. In the early part of 2020 on this 20. It's been going on over a year. And we just now done got the vaccines out, and they've been having problems with certain vaccines, and they got variants of the COVID-19 that's been spreading around too. So you got a lot of different factors that play here. And the bottom line is the pandemic is not under control, and it won't be under control by July or early August. Best case scenario, they will have it under control by November, December of 2021, and that's when they can maximize the revenue for a fight of this magnitude. Till then, miss me with this fight being close, and miss me with this fight getting done in the coming days. Let me know your thoughts about Eddie Hearn. Once again, capping about AJ and Fury being real close to coming to fruition. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I'll holla.